So we did a story about, well, I'll say how the story started. So this was back in January, and I decided, okay, I really have to learn everything there is to know about Trump properties in New York. I'm going to start with Trump Tower because the president lives there. So with my reporting partner, we went through all of the land records of the units, and we were sort of thinking like maybe we'll find some secret foreign governments living there, or we didn't know what we were going to find, but we want to know, these are the president's neighbors, we want to know who they are. And we started at like floor 29, and we went up, and we got up to the 43rd floor, we got to 43G, and it was Paul Manafort's apartment. And we thought, wow, that is a really weird pattern, because he bought the apartment with all cash, held on to it for 10 years or so, bought it through a shell company, and then transferred it into his own name and then borrowed money. And we were sort of pondering that. And then we decided to look up to see if he had any other properties, and we found a property in Brooklyn. And we looked and we saw they had taken a $7 million loan against his property. And Ed and I live in Brooklyn. Max lives in Brooklyn. We all live in Brooklyn. And I was like, $7 million? $7 million?
Move to Brooklyn immediately if you want to be an enterprise.
Wait, $7 million where?
Union Street and Carroll Gardens.
I know there's the part. Okay, so when did he buy it for $7 million? He wants to sell it now.
He took out a loan for $7 million in this year, 2017.
See, but this is making sense to me. Because
so then we thought, okay, well, this is really weird. That is really weird. What does this mean? And we went and we talked to a bunch of people, and we said, what does this mean? And they said, well, it could be money laundering, could be nothing, but it could be money laundering. And then we thought, okay, well, we'll go out on a limb. We'll say it could be money laundering. And then nothing happened. And then last week or 2 weeks ago, Bob Mueller indicted Paul Manafort for money laundering on these very properties that we had looked at. So we obviously did not know that was going to happen when we were, reading on our eyes were getting sore from staring at all those land records. So I do think that for people that are starting out, you really have to be willing to work hard. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to stick with it. But if you're attracted to this area of like finding out things and, there's a lot, I think that it's probably very abundantly clear to everybody in the audience now. There's a long period of confusion, doubt. There's a period where you've been working on you're on the 5th month of a 6-month story, and you think to yourself, why did I do this? It happens every single time. Why did I do this? No one will be interested. But you really have to stick with it. And I think one of the things in journalism is that, the stories that are hard are usually the stories that matter.